Hey. We have a special little guest today. She goes by Paige Stuart. Wait, welcome to Bitches in the Breakroom.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Courtney.
I'm Caitlyn.
And I'm Paige.
We have a special little guest, Paige Stuart.
Yeah, Paige, introduce yourself.
Oh, my name is Paige.
Elaborate.
I'm 28. I do hair. And I work at Caban and Co.
And how long have you been doing hair?
Like 5 years.
And what do you specialize in?
Blonding, balayage, and extensions.
Paige is getting mic happy with the ASMR.
Welcome to the pod.
I'm excited.
We're excited to have you. This is a good day.
We have 2 mics because the other 2 that we had don't work, so bear with us. If you hear Paige in the background, we'll do our best to just pop a mic in front of her mouth.
Yeah, we're just gonna like hold it like this and just like scream for our lives.
Hope for the best. I have a voice that does not carry
No,
at all
it does
whatsoever.
Alyson might have to like amp the volume up on this one.
Yeah.
Like,
Turn her up. Turn her up.
The reason we got Paige, or we brought her on to the podcast, is because we want to talk about people pleasing today. And she's kind of the queen of this.
Paige is our people pleasing
Yikes.
expert. She is queen people pleaser.
I feel like that's the biggest red flag for me. It was just like, this is edited, right?
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. It's just a conversation.
It is weird. My first podcast, I felt really weird. So, because you feel like a lot of pressure to have to talk, and you're like, okay, so everything I say has to be perfect.
Well, it's like I've been rehearsing in my head for the past 24 hours,
Oh
and
my
that
God.
sounded great.
You're doing
But now
great.
that I'm here, I'm like, what was it that I was going to say? How do I speak?
It's okay. So, the reason you are the queen of people pleasing
Oh my God.
is because you're such a good hairstylist that you like to go above and beyond and beyond and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't really know your limits with how beyond you want to go.
Totally.
Right?
Totally. I think that I feel like people pleasing is one of those things that actually for hair, it's good because it like helps you. I mean, we're in the business of clients and our money is directly affected by our clients. So people pleasing isn't necessarily something that's like negative to my job. Like if I was corporate, I feel like it'd be people pleasing for my other employees. But because I'm a hairstylist, I'm people pleasing for my clients, which makes me a good hairstylist.
I agree. I feel like you do have to be a people pleaser to be a good hairstylist, but knowing the cutoff
Boundaries
is the most important part. Do you feel like you have those?
No, not at all.
Not even a little bit?
No.
Okay.
And the reason I know that is because I feel like I give so much energy. It's not even like, I feel like boundaries with being like, no, I can't squeeze you in. Or boundaries with, you know, certain other like client aspects. I just feel like I have no energy sometimes for myself. So therefore I've given it all to people pleasing and to my clients. And so that's where the boundary I feel like needs to be for me.
Well, and I also feel like you're such a people pleaser, and that's why you never get a complaint.
Exactly.
Because you've done everything possible. Like, there's not really anything people can complain about.
Yeah. Well, during your appointment, I'm making sure that you're happy the entire process.
Which is good.
Yeah.
I think that's, like, a great quality to have. I think people pleasing comes off as, like, such a negative thing.
Yes.
Sorry.
Personally,
Courtney's little head sticking out.
I'm
just like,
see, like, I hear what
We're
you're
actually
saying.
just normalizing people pleasing.
No, that's like
There's nothing wrong with it.
No, because like I was just about to oppose some of those thoughts there. Because like, yes,
Okay, let's fight.
being in the service world, like, yes, especially with what we're doing, you do have to obviously please your clients. However, there has to be lines, and like, you also need to demand respect from your clients, and like, you also need to respect your own energy and your own time. And like, if a client is over here, you know, say running 30 minutes late, I'm not gonna be like, we'll still do the full, like, I know you do that. That's why I'm bringing that
you're
up.
Not supposed to do that.
And like, I get like, it is what it is. And if there's a day that I'm like really in a good mood and like I don't have anything going on after work and whatever, like sure. But it's also like if you never put those boundaries in place, they're never going to respect them and they're never going to take them seriously. Like if you let it slide over and over and over and over, they're never going to, I hate to sound like harsh with this, but it's like they're never going to understand that there's like consequences to their actions, and like they're never going to respect your time the same way. Like they're going to be like, oh, she'll do whatever for me. Like, it's fine. Like she lets it slide for me. Like she'll let it slide for me.
Like I will, like if they show up 30 minutes late, like, because I get it, shit does happen. I'll just tell them like I can't today, or if I can, I'll be like, here's why.
Yes.
You know, like give them the reason.
Yeah, I'm never like, I can't believe you're late. Ugh. Like it's never like I'm never upset. I'm just like, just with the time that I have today and like with the timing that we're starting at, like I'm gonna have to stop doing, I'm not gonna be able to do the full service that you're booked for. Like that's just, it is what it is. And like that's a tough thing, but like next time we'll do the full, or like next time, you know what I mean? Like it's like today I'll try to make you as happy as possible with what we're doing.
Another example of that is like I allow my clients to be like 5 to 10 minutes late, especially for morning appointments, typically because I'm also not totally on time. My boss loves it. But then it becomes an issue when, say, I'm double booking or you're my afternoon appointment, but I've always allowed you to be late. So now, you know, when they get there and they're 5-10 minutes late, I have no leg to stand on and I can't be angry. I can't be mad. So it's like about like, I feel like letting people know that like you're in an okay environment. Like if things are happening, if you're running late, but it's not like I'm still making money. This is still my like business. You are. So it's like about setting that boundary and being like, oh, this is fine this time, but just know that like going forward, maybe try and be a little bit more on time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I get that. And I feel like with my morning clients, like I don't know. For me personally, like as long as they're under 30 minutes from their scheduled time, I'm usually fine. If anything, I'll be like, oh, I won't have time to do the cut today, or I might not have time to curl today. You know, like I'll like make it work in some ways. But with my afternoon
let's talk
clients,
about the policies that we have here.
Yeah.
That kind of don't let us people please sometimes.
Totally. Yeah.
That Paige does not follow.
That
ever.
Paige loves to make
It's nice, like, if I ever need to. I can just blame it on you and be like, I'm sorry. Our policy here is this. I have no control.
It's not me. It's Caitlyn.
Yeah, like, literally.
What a tyrant.
Bad guy.
What a boss.
I know.
So one of our policies is it if you're is it 30 or 15? I think it's 15.
Yeah, if you're 15.
But we're usually
I am a little lenient with that.
Yeah.
I just feel like shit does happen. And
Yes.
Like, I also like to reciprocate it back to them.
Of course.
Like, sometimes we run.
I run behind
like,
too.
I don't like to be a hypocrite with that.
Yeah.
But our policy is if you are 15 or more minutes late, you may not get the full service that you booked for, but you will be charged for it.
Yes. Yeah, and same
and
goes.
We get a lot of mixed reactions with that one.
Same goes for whether you're like you could be perfectly on time, but if you're booked for a full and you decide you want a partial, one of our policies is that you're still going to get charged for what you're booked for.
Right, because then you end up taking money out of our pockets when you could have just told us 24 hours in advance, like you agreed to.
Yeah.
But we get mixed. For the most part, people get it.
Yeah.
But then you have those who are like,
I had one who
having
cried.
it.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Do you remember when I had that client who was like 30 minutes late and I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, we're only going to be able to do the partial today. Like, I do have someone coming in after you. I was like, but like one of our policies, like you will still be charged for the full today. And she literally starts like full blown crying. Like she was like,
I kind of remember that. But
like I like went to grab you. I was like, Kate,
what did I do?
You told me.
Remember?
You told me to just kind of like take the L that day, basically.
Oh.
Because she was like having a tantrum.
I think you have to gauge the client.
For sure.
How many times has this happened? From full to partial, I feel like that's not like such a big jump. Like I could probably like, pop a few in the back, make that time up. But it's different when it's like, okay, like you were in a small slot already and now you're late, and kind of changing that service. And sometimes people are cool with it, and it's really not that big of a price jump from a full to a partial.
It's $50.
Yeah, so I do feel like that's understood. But then, Kate, you're so right, like, because as hairstylists we do run behind, and there's like, it's not like you get anything if I'm running behind. It's a hard policy to enforce sometimes, but I do feel like, I mean, what would you rather me do? Rush through your full service, or be able to do a partial really well and not feel rushed and leave styled? And value that.
In those situations, I always ask my clients, like, with the given time, like, here are your options. What is your priority? Like, is your priority to leave with the color that you absolutely want? Is your priority to leave with, like, you want the brightness around your face really heavy, so we'll really go, like, heavy on a partial this time, and then you'll leave styled, whatever. Like, asking the clients, like, what their priority is for that situation.
Is that people pleasing? Okay, so for me in consultations, I'm very, like, almost overly detailed with them. And I catch myself, and sometimes I'm like, I feel like I shouldn't even be asking some of those questions. Like, I feel like in my head, my job is to see the inspo or see the photo and know what to do. So then why do I feel the need to ask certain questions of, like, oh, do you want me to, like, really pack them in around here? Or do you want me to do and it's like, sometimes I'm just, like, kind of gauging them, and I'm making sure, like, they're going to be happy with me and my work. And I feel like that's also kind of a level of people pleasing.
Like giving too many options.
Yeah.
Or, like, giving too many details.
Yes.
I mean, I think it's not bad if it's a consultation, but I think it depends on what. Like, what level.
Yeah.
You know, like, if you already figured it out and then you just start being like, well, then I'm going to also do this. And they're just like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
And, like, they don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason why I feel like some of my best hair is when the clients are like, oh, you know it. You got it. You do whatever.
Well, because then you get so in your head trying to please them that you're like, you feel so restricted and you feel so much more pressure.
Yep. And I feel like sometimes when I open up that, like, to hear every little thought from them or every little, like, thing that they've seen on Instagram, or, like, how they want the tone, and, like, talking about all those kind of things, it's like, is it coming from a place of, like, I need to know the answers to those questions, or is it coming from a place of, like, I want you to know that, like, I'm gonna do everything that you want. Like, this is for you, this is, like, but then at the end of the day, some of my best hair is when I make those decisions. So it's
there's
tough.
a fine line.
Yeah.
I feel like there definitely is.
Where do you think, like, I'm about to get deep.
Uh-oh.
Where do you think, like, your desire to, like, go above and beyond and really please your clients, like, comes from? Like, is it just professional? Is it personal? Like,
you
what do you think
outside of work?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It is, I think, something I realized, like, within the last, like, 3 years, that it's not just with clients. I think it shows up the most in a work atmosphere. But even with, like, small interactions, like at the grocery store or something, like, I'm, like, constantly like, what's the perception on this gonna be? And that's like a tough mental thing for me to, like, always take on. And it's not that I really care, like, if I'm gonna be judged or if I'm going to be, like, dismissed, but it's almost like I just care, like, because I want to hold myself to that standard. And I think for your question of, like, where it kind of came, like, from,
And, like, you don't have to get, like, too deep if you don't want, but, like,
No, I
open
don't
up
care.
as much as you want.
I don't care.
Wait, what are you about to say?
Let's go. No, I'm just kidding. I am the youngest child, so I have 2 older siblings, and they're older by, like, quite a bit. I am also a believer that everything comes from childhood. I feel like you could have the best childhood, but, like, you're still a kid, and you're still, like, your brain's forming habits and, like, how you perceive things. So for me, I feel like being the youngest by quite a bit, I had 2 older siblings that were already set in their personality types, set in their ways, and it was almost like, hey, like, it's me, like, I wanted to be different, and I think I wanted to, like, be my own person, but it was almost like I have this picture of what I'm supposed to be. And then it was kind of like, I'm only going to be praised if I'm going to be like that or if I'm going to be like, it was almost like being different wasn't really like in my head what was supposed to happen.
Totally.
So now I think that
You put a lot of pressure on yourself.
yeah, I think it's like I'm kind of like a chameleon. Like I'm wanting I want to be whoever you want me to be, which sounds so toxic, but like but it's true. And I think that's what people pleasing is it's like I'm just morphing and I'm being whoever someone else wants me to be, just to kind of save myself rejection possibly, or save myself from someone being like, ooh, like I'm not comfortable with that.
Yeah.
I feel like I have the same. I literally just discovered this year that I'm a people pleaser. I just learned in therapy. I never recognized that I was, because I'm always like, I'm a trailblazer. Like, I choose my own destiny. I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks, you know, like, which is like true. I don't logically actually care what anyone thinks of me. And I think that's why I'm like everyone thinks I'm just like the craziest girl, you know, because I just like don't care what people think. My actions say otherwise. Like similar situation, like I'm also the youngest. There's not a lot of age difference, but my sister was like an angel child. Like, she did everything like by the book, absolutely correct, and did it well, which comes with her own baggage, I'm sure, like holding herself to that standard as well. I like was kind of like the black sheep of the family, you know, like I always did things differently. I always behaved differently. I was always really outspoken and whatever. And so like my whole life I was like, you know, like I would go to the same teachers that my sister had, and they would be like, oh, a Baron, like this is so exciting. I'd be like, don't get your hopes up, man. Like don't get your hopes up. I'm probably never going to be in this class. Like I'm probably going to be here twice a week. And like my sister was always like on time, like straight A's, like top class. Like she had like one of the highest GPAs in our school, like crazy. And I was over here like, I'm just here to get the degree. Like, I don't care. So you guys
feel like you have something to live up to.
Yeah, and like it wasn't even,
in a way.
I felt like I was always getting like repercussions for like just doing things differently, and that like just sort of like socialized in my brain as like becoming a people pleaser, like basically.
Well, I think I hate like talking negatively about my parents, because parenting enough, like I can't even imagine. You have no idea. But I think it's like talking about my siblings and blah, blah, blah. Like everyone probably has cool, great siblings. But I think it was like my parents' perception was almost like they were a little tough, little strict, little like hard lines. And so I never really received a lot of like, wow, like that was, we're proud of you. You're doing so good. And so I think I constantly was trying to search for that and like reach for that. And then I think that's where I'm like, I feel like I'm always looking to my clients or to other people, and I'm looking for like, oh, did she think that was like a little too hard? Or did she think that was a little too much? Or does she not like that? Or blah, blah, blah. When they're totally happy and content the entire time, that's my brain being like, what have I done wrong? Like, I'm not going into something thinking that was great. Yeah.
I also do think in childhood, even like, to some extent, like we probably did create this illusion in our brain that like our parents weren't going to be happy with us, because we also saw like how our siblings or whoever was doing things, and like we put that pressure on ourselves. Just like in being different, it like adds that pressure. Like it wasn't necessarily like my parents were like, be more like your sister. Like they were always really like, you're different people, it's okay, you know. But like I think I put a lot of the pressure on myself, because I also saw like, you know, your words are saying like it's fine that I'm doing things differently or whatever, but like I also see that like things are working out really well for my sister, and she's doing this so well, and like I just can't even care to do that. Like, and that was like also frustrating for me, was like just being different in that aspect. And like now I see it in my life, which I didn't before I started therapy, but like yes, with clients, like to some extent, like I definitely end up staying way later and foiling way more, instead of just being like, okay, like it's actually not going to be that bright today. Like I'm going to do everything I can to get you as bright as you want today. Like I'm going to make you know, and you're going to see that I'm doing everything that I can to get you to your goal today. And if it doesn't happen, then it's just not in the cards. But like you're going to see that I'm busting my ass to make it happen. I don't know why I need to do that, but I do. I also do it just in like conversations with people. Like I'll try to like match their energy and make sure that the way that they're receiving what I'm saying is coming off the way that they would want to receive it, not like the way that I authentically want to say it. It's always like, how are they going to receive this? How are they going to, like, how do I word this, you know?
This is interesting. I can't relate to you guys at all.
Oh my God.
I'm
like
so
not
sorry.
even a little bit.
Mm-mm.
Oh, what's it like?
I'm the oldest, so I don't think I feel like that at all. Like, I like to make people happy, but I do not, like, lose sleep over it at all. Like, I
lose sleep.
I don't know why. I don't know. I think maybe because I'm the oldest, I feel like I've always had to be so sure of myself and, like, set an example that I just look at it differently. Yeah. Like, I want my clients to be happy, and I think that's why I've had them for so long, because, like, I do go the extra mile, so I guess that is hair. People, pleasing, but it doesn't stem from that. Mm-hmm. It stems from, like, me wanting to do good, not because I want them to be pleased.
Yes.
I don't know. Is that messed up?
No, not. I mean, that probably comes with its own, like, set of things. Like, I just think there's different.
I put pressure on myself in a different way than you guys do.
Exactly. But I have done a bit of research.
Oh, Paige is a bookworm, and she always does research. She always comes in so prepared.
She has a binder from when she first started here, and she would take notes of everything when she first started working
her
here.
First day, she brought in the book bag. That's just Paige,
I still have it. I just like to be prepared.
No, I get
I'm
that.
A prepared girly. But what I have found, so a YouGov poll from 2022 says that 49% of adults are self-identified as people pleasers. People who feel like they have no value except for what they can do for another person. It's my experience that people seek to please others for both conscious and unconscious reasons, including conflict avoidance, securing feelings of indispensability, reducing fears of abandonment. So basically, it probably comes from, like, those feelings. I do it a lot for conflict avoidance. Mm-hmm. Even if I'm like, the toner didn't come out that great or wasn't spot on to what the picture was, I'm trying to avoid conflict by being like, I know that it's not exactly, and they're like, what? Like, this is it. This is what I want. And then I just feel like I'm like, oh, I did too much. I tried to please too much. I don't know. I just feel like it does help me avoid conflict. It helps me feel like my clients are always happy, but then that's like such a big burden to take on.
But do you feel exhausted from it, or do you feel
exhausted?
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, like, does it actually make you more at peace in life if you act like that, or is this something you want to stop?
Well, no, I definitely, like, want to have boundaries. I wouldn't say stop, because I do think that it helps in my career.
In a way, yeah.
Yes. But I want to have boundaries. My issue is not when I'm here. When I'm at work and, like, even driving to work, I'm like, I'm so excited to see so-and-so today. I, like, hope she wants this. Like, I'm so passionate about hair that while I'm here, people-pleasing is, like, whatever, fine. It's not when I'm here. It's when I'm at home. And it's when I'm, like, like, I just can't. I have no more to give. I can't even, like, try to people-please to answer a text or, like, try to, like, spend quality time, like, things like that where I feel like because you're not forcing me to do it. My coworkers aren't forcing me to do it. It's like what I take on, and then I feel like that's how I know that I need to set boundaries and I need to be a little better about it.
Because then you lack in other areas of your life.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. I almost give, like, everything to my clients, which serves me financially. It serves me as far as, like, booking goes. But to what extent? And that's something I don't know how to bridge that gap. I think learning about what boundaries I can start to take and, like, how to ease into it is going to help me.
Well, I think once you start doing it and then you start seeing, like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay if someone gets annoyed that they have to follow a policy that they agreed to beforehand. Like, once you start doing it, then you're like, no, like, you just have to, I think you have to change your perception on it, too.
I think that's become a little bit more clear because as I've gone further into my relationships with my clients, I've realized that there's still going to be times where they're not, like, perceiving what I'm wanting them to, or that they're not sometimes giving me the best like feedback that I want, and I'm like, okay, well, I've people pleased you the last 10 appointments, and now I have to like, either way, clients are still going to be clients. They're still going to have days where their attitude isn't as like yay, and like you're going to see that side of them. So then I'm like, I'm sitting here thinking that like client A just loves me and just would do anything for me, and just she's so happy, she loves her hair so much, and they're leaving and they don't think about me for 3 months until their next appointment. And I just spent all of my energy trying to make client A happy, and now I have none left over for anyone that actually is important to me.
Okay, yeah. And I also think it also bites you in the ass, where it almost, I don't want to say hurts your feelings, but I don't know, like I feel like sometimes if you go beyond and beyond and above and beyond
to
above
infinity and beyond.
If you go above and beyond for someone and they like don't match your energy, I feel like it's also really depleting and damaging to you. Yeah. Like, for example, a little client the other day that has been kind of difficult, and
we're people pleasing.
I'm being nice. She's been a little difficult, and she always complains about pricing, or just like is not a very nice client when she's in the chair. And Paige has had her the last couple times, which probably is the best and worst person for her to see in the salon. And I'd say like Paige is the best person for her to see because she has that patience where she's like, okay, like, and she's trying to please, but also the worst because this lady can easily like walk all over you at the same time. And so what ended up happening is she was complaining about the pricing, and Paige was way too nice.
I know.
And charged her for a partial when she really got a full. And instead of the client being grateful for that, because that is a huge favor that Paige is doing, because one, this isn't her friend. Two, Paige lost money on that client, but Paige was just trying to people please so much that, you know, she just did it because she didn't want the client to be mad, avoiding that conflict. She was avoiding that conflict. And what ended up happening is the client still found something to be unhappy about. And was really nasty, and she's fired and she's done. Like, she's not coming back here anymore. But it's just like, Paige, it's not your fault.
Paige.
But it's like that kind of stuff. Doesn't that like piss you off? Like, don't you feel like so stupid?
I do.
You know what I mean? Like, don't you, like, it's such a slap in the face where you're like, I literally just did all this for you. I lost money on your account and you mean nothing to me. You've done nothing for me. And then after all that, she still has the audacity to like complain about something that wasn't even a service that she received. Like, she was complaining that her roots weren't covered, but she never paid for a root cover. So like it just like I don't know what happened there, but I don't know. It just like that would piss like And I think,
well, there's some people you give them an inch and then they take a mile, and generally most people are not like that. They see how hard I'm working for them, so I feel like that is like not the perception of most.
But that's still a takeaway, because you have to remember at the end of the day, I'm just like speaking in like the work world. They're not your friends.
No, not
and
at
like
all.
Even though how like you get close to them, whatever, like you still have to like have that line, because when you get walked all over, it stings. And I feel like that sometimes happens with Kelly too. And Kelly's not a people pleaser, but she shows a lot of her cards to people. And then when they get upset, it hurts her feelings. And it's like, they're not your friends, and they'll prove it to you by doing that. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It's such a weird industry. Like, there are seldom industries that are similar to doing hair, and the fact that you can get hurt by people because you're a service provider and because you put so much energy into it.
And you like get to know them and they get to know you. I always give clients the benefit of the doubt over and over and over again, because I'm like, well, like even my crazy woman who was in a couple of weeks ago, I was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. Initially, I was like, I mean, she doesn't have a lot of confidence. It was very clear with her body language, her behavior, whatever. Like, you get to know people when they're sitting in your chair for hours. So, like, when they start acting a certain way, I'm like, well, I know where it's stemming from, and I know why they're doing it, and I know it's not me, but I'm still taking it personally. Yeah.
So that, and I think you have to find that disconnect. I don't know how you guys can find it, but
I think I did also research on that.
Oh, really? Yeah, tell
I
me.
think
Because
I
have
was
that
like,
disconnect very easily. I am not, like, yes, it'll hurt me in the moment, but I'm just like, oh, it is what it is. Like, I'm not going to bust over. I don't know. Bust over.
I'm not gonna bust down.
Bust over, Tatiana.
I'm not gonna bust down.
I'm not gonna bend over for someone who's not gonna like. I don't know. I just like that kind of stuff irks me.
Yeah. So basically, it was saying that you need to set boundaries, but you don't need to explain your boundaries to anyone. No one like needs an explanation about that.
Yes.
So like, don't people please your boundaries. It's okay if not everyone likes you. You can't make everyone happy. That one's not registering, but we're going to keep reading it. You will be more empathetic and forgiving person when you meet your needs first.
Yes.
That's a huge one. I think like I need to switch my mindset a little and tell myself that people pleasing myself first is only going to improve my work and improve my relationships and even with clients. And so I think that like I'm a little, what's the word, hesitant to like get rid of my people pleasing because it does serve me as a hairstylist, but it's not serving me as a person. And I feel like people pleasers probably have to get burnt out the quickest. Like, yeah, there's no way that we can keep it
I'm
up,
surprised.
up. Yeah.
Have you ever been burnt out?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't tell.
Yeah. You never will.
When we get home,
I've never known.
when me and Paige get home, we've talked about it, like, nothing. Like, nothing. Like, there is, like, little to no battery left at all.
Yeah.
Wow.
No.
I used to be like that, but I can go home and keep it moving.
Yeah.
But I wonder why.
I don't know. My brain just has to have like a stop. And it's almost like when I'm in front of other people, it won't like tell me to stop. And then the second I get home, it's like, stop. And that's not fair to the people that are members of my home. Sorry, Sadie. Sorry, Tom. I think that's why I need to have that switch, is that I want to be those like versions of myself that was before I did hair. And I think it's before I did hair because I people please so much in my career that that's like a side effect of doing hair. So I'm like, I used to like, I don't know, like I feel like have more time for things that I liked to do. And now I just have time to like zombie out. And I'm like, I don't want to be a zombie.
You have to know, I think you specifically need to know your limits too. Because like staying late every single day, like that is such an easy way to go home and be a zombie.
Oh, totally.
And I guess, yeah, like setting boundaries and stuff like that. Because if not, it is going to affect like your personal life.
Yeah. The hard part of that is that I am so passionate about hair that I'm here at 6 and I'm like not even caring. Yeah. Like I'm like, I actually kind of love it.
Which
like
is
I actually like,
it's not like a terrible thing. It's just again like having not boundaries, but like knowing your limits.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because that hits on Saturdays.
Well, yeah,
like you know, like it's,
then the weekend comes and you're like, I'm actually dead to the world.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know, it's figuring out what that boundary looks like as far as like maintenance with that and like maintenance of like reminding myself that that's my boundary, and then maintenance about communicating that to people. I feel like a lot of people set boundaries and then it's like, oh, I set a boundary, I'm good, I'm done. But it's like a lot of like boundary maintenance, and that's the part that struggles. Like I'm good, like if I start my day and I'm like, oh, I have something at 5:30, that's my boundary. I'm going to be on time with my second one. I'm going to, you know, like be like mentally aware of it.
Yeah, just know like, okay, I can't go above and beyond right now.
Yes. And then it's like almost like, oh, well, because I had that boundary on Tuesday, Wednesday it's fine. Like I'm not going to keep that. Like I almost like punish myself, I feel like, for when I do like set boundaries. And I think that's like the unlearning. It's going to be like unlearning those habits that it's like I feel guilty for not people pleasing.
Yeah. And it's hard as a hairstylist because the entire foundation of our careers is people pleasing. Like because you're looking for that validation at the end to be like, so do you like it? I just busted my ass. Like, do you actually like it? So I think you're chasing that too.
I think my thing is like, I am a very confident person. Like it doesn't make sense for me to be so like self-assured and also such a huge people pleaser. like on paper it just doesn't make any sense. But I think part of that, like me taking it personally, comes from me like being so confused about why someone wouldn't like me or why someone wouldn't like what I just did. Like that's where it comes in for me. It's like when a client isn't as enthused as me, I'm like, why wouldn't you be, you know? Or like when a client, like that's just like part of it probably does come from a little bit of an ego, but not like a I'm hot shit kind of thing. But it's like my perception of myself is how I expect everyone else to perceive me. So when I'm like, I feel like I just did a really good thing, and I feel like I was really kind, and I feel like I was really respectful, and I helped you relax, and I helped you look hot, and I got you to your goal, whatever. Like, why aren't you excited? Like, why aren't you matching my energy? You know what I mean? And it's like, if I can watch my client not people please me, why am I people pleasing them? You know what I'm saying? It's
because
like
they're paying you and you feel like you have to.
Right. Right.
It's really fucked up, huh?
It is really fucked up.
So how can we heal you guys?
This says that it's not your job to fix people.
The tools. What is this?
It's a toolkit of how to not people please. Sure you do. I'm just kidding. Their happiness. See, I just said I'm just kidding after I said something that was a joke.
Yeah.
Is that people pleasing?
No. Sometimes I feel like you have to, because your jokes are a little crazy sometimes.
A little dry.
Well, no, Paige is very, like, Paige will be like, I want you to die. Just kidding. So, like, I think that's a good one to say just kidding after. Or, like, when she came in the actual break room the other day, she goes, I want to punch all you bitches.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
And then she said, just kidding. I was like, no, you're not.
I was not just kidding.
Yeah.
I was having a little premenstrual symptoms. And they decided to roar. My dad's calling me.
Let's get him on the pod.
Dad, are you pleased? Are you pleased?
Making you proud.
But this says it's not your job to fix people, and their happiness and well-being does not depend on you.
So let's talk about setting boundaries, because that's the first step in breaking the people pleasing. Oh, I don't know.
You have to have some boundaries that you're like, I love that one.
I do think what maybe has helped me in like reference to you guys, not only being the oldest sibling, because I really don't know if there's any
correlation.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But I think being a salon owner has desensitized me a lot. Yeah. So maybe you guys need to just be me for a day.
Okay.
Because you'll deal with so many people being unhappy. Not like clients, but like you deal with
everyone
so many
hates Caban and Co.
No. Yes, and we're going under. No, but I think because I deal with so many like issues and problems, and I'm just like, you can't make everyone happy. Like, fuck it. And I think I've accepted that. Like, or even like dealing with unhappy clients, because my clients are everyone's clients, and whenever one person isn't unhappy, I'm always the one hearing it. Like, you'll never know if one of Rachel's clients are you probably will, because Rachel will talk about it. But you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't affect you the way it affects me and Rachel. Like, every time there's an unhappy client, I'm feeling it. And so I think I'm just like, what are you gonna do? Like, I'm not gonna fucking die if someone's not happy anymore.
Well, that was cool to see when we did have that client that wasn't so lovely, and she was being very wordy with her text responses about the issue, and it was almost like no one was getting anywhere, and it was just very, I don't think she proofread, you know, to kind of see all that. I would have gone through every word. I would have like mentally taken notes on it. I would have like taken all of that so close, and then I saw you just be like, this isn't worth my energy like, right now. Yeah, you were like, just like, I can't, and then you sent your response just based on very matter of fact, and that already saved you like 5% of your energy.
But before I wasn't like that. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, so that's what I'm like, maybe it's not the older sibling thing, maybe it's a salon owner thing, because before, I remember my first bad review, I literally left the salon crying. Like, I wanted to leave early. It really affected me, and like a couple, you know, upset clients after that too. Like, I remember being on the phone with a client at 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like, oh, what can we do? And now I'm just like, no, fuck that. Like, you guys are not about to drain my happiness. Like,
I will say one of my boundaries is my secret weapon, which is Caitlyn. more often than not, I think I've maybe only had, off the top of my head, I think I've only had 2 clients that I think were just absolutely unreasonable. Like, just like completely unreasonable in how they were going about like their unhappiness or their dissatisfaction with the service or whatever. So like when most of my clients, if they're like, you know, honestly, I think I would rather have this or whatever, it's like a easy conversation. I don't feel like I'm busting my ass for it. I'll be like, all right, I'm going to see if anyone will be able to rinse this toner because my next client is here kind of thing. But like, I do want you to leave happy, that kind of thing. But when I have those clients that are unreasonable and I know, like I will see it immediately. I'm just like, I'm going to step away real fast. I'll be right back. I just immediately grab Kate because I'm like, I know, like, which like, sorry, Kate, like I hate putting you in that position, but it's like, I know that you are going to defend me, and I know that you're also like, it also in a way like makes me feel better about like watching, this sounds so shitty, but like watching them
putting it on you.
No, but like watching them continue to behave the way that they're behaving in my direction towards you. Yeah. It like almost like validates like in my brain, like I'm like, okay, I'm not insane. Yeah. And like at the end of the day, there's nothing I can do that's going to make this client happy. There's nothing I can do that this client is going to like. Someone who can like actually set the boundary for me, since it's like your salon, like I know that you're going to defend me. And like I know, like when I had that client who wanted to come in because she didn't like the tone, but she didn't want to stay that day when I didn't have anyone after her to retone her. She came in, couldn't communicate what she wanted still. And I was like, I'm going to go grab Caitlyn and see if maybe she can help me understand your communication style, because I think there's a barrier with our communication. I can't figure out what you want. Yeah, because like, no, literally, like I was like, there's no, I just need an extra set of ears maybe. And I watched the same thing go down with you. And then we go over to the shampoo bowl. Caitlyn's like, okay, well, let's just go to the shampoo bowl. Like, we're just gonna do something. Like, we're on a time crunch. Like, you're getting this for free right now. Let's go over to the shampoo bowl. Whole time this client's just worried about getting her blow dry. And I'm like, well, if we have time, if we didn't spend the last 35 minutes just trying to figure out what's wrong with the tone in your brain, like we might have time. But like right now we're kind of on a time crunch. I do have someone who's paying coming in after you. She really says, if we don't have time to blow dry, like, can we just skip the tone and just shampoo and blow dry? No, and Caitlyn immediately jumps in and goes, no, so fast. And I was like, thank God Caitlyn was here. Like, literally, thank God Caitlyn was here. And she looks at you like you're crazy. She's like, what? And you're like, no, my stylist isn't going to do a free service for you. Like, you're here because you're unhappy with the tone. And like, that's what we're going to be doing today. If you don't want that, then leave. But like, this is what you're here for. You're here for the tone. You're going to leave with a different tone because that's what you're complaining about. If the issue's not the tone, then why are you here? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like, having that support was very important for me, because I probably would have been like, yeah. So the thing is, I don't know about that.
I would have been like, yes to everything you ever want.
You just want to blow dry?
Do you want more? What else can I do, actually?
I think it's just getting desensitized to it, honestly. Yeah. You don't deal with a lot of upset clients because you are a great stylist. Because really, though, Paige is a really so incredible stylist.
I was joking, but thank you.
No, you are. Like, I don't even feel like you need to people please, because you are so good at what you do. Like, you don't really need to even go that extra mile because the hair looks bomb. But I feel like because you haven't dealt with a lot of upset clients, it scares you.
Yes.
You know, because if that situation that Courtney just said would have happened when we first opened, I would have been like driving myself crazy over it. Yeah. So I just, I don't know.
And then like I think that situation had happened with me, I don't even think you would have known about it, because I think I would have just been like, I have to eat this. Yeah. And why? And like, to your point, that person's unhappy regardless. It just, to me, I'm just like, why? But then it's almost like such an innate behavior. It's really hard. And it's hard because it does serve me as a hairstylist. Mm-hmm. I think that's like the point where it almost gets worse, because the more that I people please, I feel like the happier people are. Like, I'm getting positive like reinforcement on people pleasing.
It's enabling you.
Yeah. Like, I literally get compliments where it's like, I love how concerned you are. Like,
yeah.
and I'm like, thanks.
Yeah.
I don't.
But you
like,
could be a great stylist and not go to that level of
Totally.
people pleasing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think it's standing by those boundaries, set them, and stand by them.
yeah.
Well, and at the end of the day, like, you're still going to have amazing retention because you are producing beautiful work that 9.9 times out of 10 your clients love.
Say that one more time.
I don't like to repeat myself.
Okay.
I'm not people pleasing right now. Your retention is going to be absolutely fine. And I try to remind myself of that because obviously, like, I'm new to this world of hair. It hasn't even been 1 full year, like, as a full-blown stylist. And I've had 2 clients that I'm like, I'm perfectly fine if they never fucking come back. Like, everyone else, I'm like, I don't really doubt. Like, I know they're going to come back. I know that they're going to want to be in my chair again. And if those few clients that are impossible to please don't want to come back again, I'm good with it. Like, I will take the L on retention with clients that aren't going to match my energy. Like, I don't want to put on a show for my clients. I like my authenticity. I like the person that I am as a stylist, and I don't really want people in my chair that aren't going to respect me and match my energy to begin with.
Love that. I think to that point, another part of this is like being a stylist who, like, oh my God, this sounds bad. I don't have an issue with booking currently. Mm-hmm. Could always be an issue in the future. Mm-hmm. But I'm evil.
She's evil.
I'm evil. I'm even people pleasing the clients that aren't necessarily my vibe, that aren't necessarily the ones that I want to, like, continue doing that kind of hair on. Mm-hmm. And at this point, I feel like I do need to start, like, being more selective with my clients and things like that. And it's like, I'm still doing this for...
You don't need to, like, grab for these... Like, you're not scraping for clients. Like,
but it's like, regardless... Yeah. I still put so much of that pressure on the client experience and things like that. That's something too that I feel like is another thing I'm trying to kind of realize, is that I need to start being a little bit more just about the hair versus about the person versus about the relationship. Because at the end of the day, say 30 years from now, if I'm still doing hair, Belinda might want to go get whatever the new balayage is, and I might not know that. I'm hoping that I stay up to date, and I'm hoping that my Gen Zers think I'm cool still, but I just feel like I'm in the relation or the business of people and relationships, but I need to switch that mindset because I'm in the business of doing really bomb hair, and that's gonna come regardless. Okay. I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to myself this podcast.
No, I like that.
It's me having realizations.
Yes. This is therapy.
No, literally.
This is good. This is
therapy. If there's any therapists watching this, please reach out. Call me.
I am your therapist today.
Yeah. Oh.
My shirt says hair therapist.
I love that.
I'm just doing what my shirt says and giving
I have
you
one of those
advice.
Too.
Yeah, maybe I should revoke that.
I have one of those too.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kate. Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome.
It was our Christmas present.
Oh, also Merry Christmas if you guys celebrate Christmas. This
Merry
is dropping
Christmas.
on Christmas.
Oh my God.
Should we start singing a holiday song?
Here she goes. She's people pleasing. They're going to be happy if we don't do that. Well, okay, so just to wrap, I feel like people pleasing is good to a certain extent, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, at the end of the day, they're coming in, they're paying money. Like, yes, you want to make them happy, but maybe that's what you should change. Is you want to make them happy, but you're not people pleasing. I think there's a difference.
Yeah, I think I
know
need
that limitation, like the hard stop.
Yeah, our lessons from today.
Yes,
were that no matter how much you people please, people will still be unhappy. No matter how much you people please, you still might not have energy for yourself. And no matter how much you people please, it's really just about the hair. It's really just about your work. And it's not we don't need to be feeding into people so much anymore.
Oh my gosh, she's changed. She's a changed woman.
Mic drop.
Wow. Congratulations, Paige.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
not a people pleaser after this.
Yeah, tomorrow's a new day.
Tomorrow I want you to
Can't wait.
not talk to your client at all.
I don't even know who I have tomorrow, but I'm going to DM her before and make sure she's okay with it.
Like, I just want you to know that I'm not going to people please you tomorrow.
I'm going to try.
Let's not do that.
Final thought, you can give your client a magnificent experience and a relaxing experience and an experience where they leave happy without investing all of your personal emotional energy into them. You can connect with your clients without giving your all to them. Like, sometimes people just want to talk and you can just listen and you really don't have to like elaborate any further. You can be a great stylist without breaking your back for every single client. Yeah, those are my final thoughts. I hope that you and I both can move through not people pleasing anymore and just doing what we do and doing it well. And for all the stylists out there, I hope that you guys do the same. And we love you. And thanks for joining us today, Paige.
Oh my God, I was so happy to be here.
Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Bitches in the Breakroom. Caitlyn's Instagram.
Where did you guys get that name? That's a great.
Oh my God, Paige!
Paige is the founder of the name.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Yes.
But I'm not a bitch.
No, I'm just kidding. You're not.
Crickets. Yeah, I don't know.
She's not a bitch because she says just kidding after every time.
Because I'm a people pleaser.
But yeah, you are the founder of Bitches in the Breakroom, so thank you so much of the name.
The name.
You guys have ran with it.
I know. The second you said it, I was like,
yes.
Because what was it going to be before? Hairfluencers.
No.
Yeah, that was one of them.
That was one of them.
Hairfluencers.
Hairfluence would have been good.
Hairfluence. Just
I can't remember all of them.
I love our name.
But yeah, this is everything. But yeah, Caitlyn's Instagram.
Caitlyn Caban Hair.
Paige's Instagram.
Paige Stuart Hair. Stuart spelled like Stuart Little.
And mine is Courtney Cab Hair.
Merry Christmas, bitches.
We love you, bitches.
Ho, ho, ho.
Aw.